Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hello, my fellow hoopheads, and welcome to One and Done, your fast break for college basketball information, powered by drroto.com. I am your humble host, Chris Napier, a.k.a. Nate C. Hustle. We have a full screen here, as you can see, so let's just get straight into these intros, and I'll get out of here talking here. First, he is the captain of the Green Screens Media ship. You can find him on X at MCHolland34. Give him a follow. Mr. Mike Holland. What's up, brother?
What it do, baby? What it do? Another weekend down. We are almost in mid-May, which is kind of crazy to think that over the last 60 days or so, we've been talking transfer portal. It's slowed down a little bit, but I'm excited about one of the segments we're going to do. We're going to try out on this show today. Something a little different, spice it up a little bit, and looking forward to diving into the project that we are going to start next week, which is putting all these teams together, looking at usage, and it's just going to be a fun time for 362 teams. But I'm glad to be here and happy to talk about all the stuff we got going on in the world of college basketball.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, when one project ends, and I'm talking about the transfer big board, another one begins. So excited to help out with that as well. Speaking of the big board, it is finally at 500.
Yep.
And we'll have that coming out tomorrow. Get over to drroto.com and check it out. It's free. Who doesn't like free stuff? I know everybody here likes free stuff.
If it's free, give me 3.
Yeah, there you go. Well, next, he is the conductor of the Green Screens Media train. Find him on X at Dr. William Cannon. Follow him. He will follow you back, Mr. Jay Heinrich. How was your weekend, Jay?
Oh, Nate C. Hustle, good to see you, man. And my weekend was fantastic. Had a pretty good day today. I was saying in the pre-show, I wish every day was Mother's Day. Not just because the mothers deserve it, but because today I got to go to Snooze for brunch and then got to go play 18 holes at Holy Moly and then went to Dave & Buster's for dinner. And it's like, this is what we do this every day, man. Let's celebrate the mothers every weekend and do stuff like that. But no, it was great. Coached my son's last soccer game of the season on Saturday. Big time dub on Saturday morning. So, great weekend and a great time to talk about college basketball. A great time to hop in the live chat. Make sure everybody's doing that. And, let's get it on.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there watching us. And if you're not a mother, go tell your mother Happy Mother's Day. Good stuff there, Jay. And, of course, last but definitely not least is our Baron of Bread. Find him on X at FantasyNav. Always putting out some great content. Eric the Blue. Mr. Eric Romoff. What's going on, big dog?
Man, gotta echo the sentiment. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, to all the broskets that are breadheads or future breadheads. We appreciate all of you out there for everything that you do. And kind of like Mike mentioned, we've been talking for a few shows here about how the pickings are getting a little slim on these transfer screens. So I'm really excited to double click and kind of sift through the best available players out there. So it should be a fun one. And part of the reason why it is a fun one is that live chat is always live, starting with Edward Vorosky. I don't know if we know Edward. What's up, Edward? It's transfer season for sure. Welcome on in. Appreciate you swinging through. If you're watching right now on YouTube, do your best Edward impersonation. Get up in that live chat. Let us know what you did for your mom. Let us know what your mom has done for you. I'm sure it's an endless list. Let us know what questions are on your mind or what player you want your team to sign. We'll get to all of those comments as we're proceeding through the show.
That's Eddie V. What's up, Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie V. He's out there.
Eddie?
He's out there chasing ducks right now. I talked to him before the show. So,
yo,
all right.
Another homesteader. He's out there in the mold of Mama Rocks.
Inside
some little animals out there.
It's a G14 classified. We can't be talking about that on there. Okay.
Appreciate it, Eddie. Everybody else, get in those comments. Let us know what you did today. let us know if you're a mom or if you said hi to your mom. Make sure you go do that. While you're in there, make sure you go in and like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when we are going to be coming on live. We come on at least twice a week. Heck, this last week, we went 3 times. So always tons of content coming out. But yeah, let's just jump into our headlines. We have one headline today. Former ex-assistant Sundance Wicks heading back to Wyoming to become head coach. Man, would he just be the coach of the all-name team?
That's something we got to ask Jay. Jay?
Oh yeah, I think he at worst he'd be the second guy on the second chair there. Like, but yeah, no doubt about it. Great name there. Feels like
absolutely.
Cross between like he could be the head coach of the all-name team, or he's about to do a collaboration with T-Pain, like a crossover. One of those artists that. It shows you another Morgan Wallen type, if you will.
So we've got a fun tie to Coach Wicks. We talked to a beat reporter on the Wyoming beat a few years ago, and Coach Wicks himself was up in this comment section, letting us know that all the guys out there were working hard and what he was excited about for the season. So it's cool to see him jump over to it was Green Bay where he was the head coach previously. Now it's come full circle. He's back to Wyoming, back to go coach up those Cowboys. So congrats to Coach Wicks. If you're out there watching, let us know in that comment section. I think he's probably a little busy tonight.
Maybe.
Yeah,
or
sure.
I mean, what's better to do than watch one and done on a Sunday night?
I mean,
Facts.
So far, every assistant coach that's been in our comment section has gotten a head coaching gig. So it might be a strong career move, right?
That math be mathing.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome to see like anybody that we've seen has gotten that promotion, right? I mean, we've had Coach Pope is our biggest one right now, but yeah,
hey,
congrats
guys,
to
Midas touch.
That was it. That was 1 year ago today also that we aired that interview with Coach Pope, and we've grown exponentially since then, and Coach Pope has leveled up to obviously to get over to Kentucky. So
a little bit.
I mean, just a little bit, but guys who we haven't let talk yet, and that's the captain.
Yeah.
Maybe El Capitan. What about Sundance Wicks?
No, I was enjoying it, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I talk a lot, so
you do, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You still like me. But a few days ago, I mean, the head coach of Wyoming, Jeff Linder, he left to become the assistant at Texas Tech under Grant McCasland. So here we go. We got an open spot in mid-May, and well, this didn't take long to fill. Some of the insiders and things like that saying that that Wicks was the guy that they wanted, and for a good reason, right? He headed over to Green Bay. He was an assistant at Wyoming from 2000 to 2003. Goes to Green Bay. Green Bay had won 3 games the previous year. Well, they went 18-14 last year, so 15 wins more than the previous year. Shows that he could really get the job done. Obviously, now coming into the Mountain West here. Clearly like Wyoming, and man, we talked about it, especially over the last 2-3 years ago, right? Like they had some squads with Maldonado and EK, and things just kind of felt just falling apart, whether it's injuries, whether it's just the coaching deal. And so hopefully Wicks can come in and provide some stability. So I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do. He's an awesome coach. I feel like he's going to be able to get the job done, and we'll see what he can do. Maybe pull off some more miracles here in year 1.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Coaching moves in mid-May, right? The sport never stops. Never stops.
We don't sleep in May, guys. That's something that some people, it's popular. Some people say it on the Twitterverse. We sleep in May.
Yeah,
we ain't sleeping.
We ain't sleeping. We never stop. So we're gonna move on to the next segment. This is the one Mike was talking about, the spicy one, the new one that we're trying out here. It's called Where Are They Going? These are our top 50 uncommitted transfers. We're going to go through 8 of them. We're going to profile the latest happenings with them, and we're going to break out our crystal ball and see where we think they end up. Eric, you have the honors to start us out here. Who you got?
Yeah, I get to start with the number 5 player on the big board that is available currently and will be expanded over at drroto.com tomorrow. That's Coleman Hawkins. And as you would expect, the 5th player on the board has got a fair number of suitors. He's testing the draft waters, but also Arkansas, K-State, Louisville, UNC, right? Like all these teams have some links to Coleman. Starting with the NBA waters, right? Like that's probably going to be his first priority. He dipped his toe into that process last year as well. Where we sit right now, it's probably a coin flip, right? 50-50 that he stays in, 50-50 he comes back. If he comes back, at least popular sentiment is that it's probably a two-team race, right? Like Arkansas, North Carolina, those two are the teams presumed to have the inside track. With UNC, like clearly they've got the depth chart, but there's concerns about how much they're willing to spend in the NIL market, an NIL market that JUCOs in Utah are giving away $3 million NIL deals, right? So we'll see if UNC will deliver the bag. A team that is not shy about delivering the bag. Arkansas, the other team that he's tied to, they've got Avicic, they've got Adu, right? Hawkins would very clearly step into a starting role in for these Razorbacks, right? So those two are the clear favorites. I think he probably ends up staying in the draft, right? Like this is his second go round. So, that would indicate that that's at least where he would like to end up. He still has that interest from last year, and he's got the offensive skill set for his size, right? Like he's an outside shooter. He can distribute, he can clean up the glass a little bit, right? Like, there's a lot of things about his game that I think, can get him some interest, especially in kind of a down draft class. So Coleman Hawkins, again, the number 5 on our board. No shortage of options on the table for him.
Now, hold on. Now, are we kind of a down? People are saying this is the worst draft class in the history of the universe. Like, it's not just a down year. Like the talent pool. So this is a time where a guy like a Coleman Hawkins,
right?
To your point, right?
Get in there and mix it up.
Can get in there, and maybe whereas in years past or any other year for that matter in the future, this is a mid to late second rounder at best. And then you look at these guys JT Toppin, right? Like from New Mexico. He played 36 games for New Mexico last year. This is another guy who is in like 50-50 shot whether or not he's going to go into the draft. And probably should, honestly, like with a guy with this sort of talent, like it's the lack of ability. It's the lack of players with that two-way ability in this draft specifically that is really standing out. And Toppin is one of those guys that does get it done on both ends. So really, the options here, as you see. By the way, look at these graphics are absolute fire tonight. Look at this, guys. Shout out to the graphics department here for sure. Yeah. No kidding, man. No kidding. But all right, so it's going to be the draft. Our Texas Tech has missed on a ton of these top guys. Still in the running for JT Toppin, but really, it sounds like where the smoke is right now is in Austin, and it's sounding like Toppin is going to end up on the 40 acres if he doesn't head to the NBA. Tech has missed out on a lot of guys, but 8 of the players out of 8 players we're talking about tonight, they're still in the running technically for 3. So Tech has a little bit of time still to get in here, but when it comes to Toppin, I think it's basically he'll enter the draft or end up at Texas 50-50.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You know what else is good stuff? Eddie coming back in saying just enjoying the show, but grieving with Jay about the Astros currently hoping they turned it around. Yeah. There you go.
Hey, I'll hop around if it helps them get out of this funk that they're in. Like, I don't know, Alex Bregman, you kind of figured he would play better in a contract year, but no, this is not what's happening. He's pressing right now, but that's all right.
He just got moved down, didn't he?
They'll get there. Down the order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long season.
Long season.
Paul Goldschmidt hasn't hit a ball in like 3 weeks, so there's that too.
Paul Goldschmidt's still playing baseball.
Fantasy baseball news.
Yeah. Good stuff, gents. Good stuff. First 2 down. Make sure you go hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you get all this live content. Like our friend Eddie, get in those comments and let us know what you think. Mike, who is our third player on our list here?
Yeah, it's a guy that we've talked a lot about, especially with Kentucky fans. And it's number 15 on our big board. That is Great Osobor, the forward from Utah State, 6'8", 250 pounds, played 35 games last year. He was the Mountain West Player of the Year, 18 points, 9 boards, 3 assists. As you see our beautiful crystal balls here, we are showing Louisville, Texas Tech, and Washington as the finalists. He's supposed to be wrapping up a decision pretty soon here. Coach Sprinkle had him follow over from Montana State with him last year. They go out and do some big things. Clearly, he had a massive season last year. I have to feel really, really good that he's going to follow Coach Sprinkle again. But Louisville and Texas Tech, they're definitely in play. The floor ceiling combination for Louisville's season obviously would be great. Any team, but specifically for Louisville, who's just been on the schneid for quite some time now. Like, it would be greatly impacted if they could get this kid. We would be potentially talking NCAA tourney with Louisville, which last year around this time we were talking, could they win 10 games? So that would obviously be quite the step up for Coach Kelsey there. And then Texas Tech, Jay mentioned it earlier, right? They've been in on all these guys. They just haven't been able to land the big one yet. If they're able to nab one of these guys, that's really going to obviously give them a lift. But, you look at it in Washington, it just feels like they have the advantage. Kid went out and won the Mountain West Player of the Year under this coach. So I feel like that he's probably going to end up there. It just feels like that's going to be the pick. So I'm going to go out and maybe not a limb here, but I would say Louisville and Texas Tech aren't that far behind, but I would say Washington's probably got the inside track.
It's a branch, like you're
it's like
you're leaning out.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing crazy, right?
A slight lean, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's got to be a game changer wherever he lands, right? I think dude's a monster, man. Eric, let's go back to you. Tell us who our fourth best remaining transfer is and where is he going to go?
Yeah, the fourth best, or the fourth on our list here, number 29, Chaz Lanier, the wing from the North Florida Osprey. We've been hearing his name a lot in our chat as we've been flooded with the Big Blue Nation faithful. Last year, we played 32 games, about 33 minutes a game, scored almost 20 points, cleaned up almost 5 boards, shot 44% from distance. So as you see there on the crystal balls, it is a 3-horse race between the NBA, Kentucky, and Tennessee. He very much so checks all the boxes that we look for when we talk about a breakout player, right? Like, the only thing that might be kind of, hurting his stock is not a whole lot of people were watching North Florida basketball, right? So not a whole lot of name recognition with him right now as we speak. He's at the G League Elite Camp this weekend. So, he's out there trying to see what sort of case he can make for himself in the pros. If he comes back, it is largely projected to be between Kentucky, as we've heard again in the live chat, and Tennessee. That would be kind of a homecoming in the case of the Volunteers. Reading between the tea leaves a little bit, he's following everyone on Kentucky's roster. But for most of the process, it seemed like he was going to try to, follow in the footsteps of Dalton Connect and head to Tennessee. Right now, probably 60-40 that he comes back to school, unless, somewhere throughout this process, he gets, very clear assurances that he's going to be drafted. And, if he's back in school next year, I think the recent signs might be pointing to Kentucky, right? Like that social media behavior, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So wouldn't be surprised at all if he returns, and I would put my money on Kentucky, but legitimate coin flip as we sit here on the second Sunday in May.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've kind of said it already, right? I mean, it's a weaker draft class, and this could lead to some of these guys sticking with the draft, right? Good stuff there, Eric. Jay, you have an intriguing player with a similar decision here. Tell us about number 37 on our big board.
Yeah, well, first of all, Big Blue Nation has not been in the live chat tonight, which is disappointing, and I feel like you should get into the live chat right now. Where are you at? Hashtag BBN, hashtag Big Blue Nation. Where are you at in the chat? If you're not watching live, get in the comments afterwards, after this thing posts over on YouTube. Let us know what you're thinking. Do you really want Chaz? He's an NBA type of guy to me, but if he comes back, I think he'll end up.
I think we got to go further than this, right? Like, we know that Big Blue Nation is watching the One and Done show. If you're out there, like, hit that live button, hit that like button, drop some fire emojis into the chat. You gotta put those vibes out in the universe so that Chaz will know that he will be supported there in Lexington. You gotta put out what you want, and the universe will send it back, right?
I watched you guys show up for a pep rally, okay, to introduce a coach. So I mean, you can hop into the live chat, do it. And again, Nate, this isn't a weaker draft class; it's the weakest draft class
ever.
And Jamir Watkins is a guy who has a similar outlook here as Lanier in terms of sort of like, well, does he come? Does he go? Does he stay? Is he leave? Is he there? Got a question mark there on the old crystal ball because there's not a lot out there in terms of what teams would be in on him. He's super focused on the draft at this point. After a season last year where he played 33 games for the Seminoles, averaging 15.6 points, 6 boards, and almost 3 times a game, while sticky finger Watkins, 1.9 steals per. That's one of the things that just absolutely pops off when you watch this guy play ball is his defense. That upside at the next level is where all the buzz is, the size, the skill set, two-way ability. I mean, this could be a top 20 guy. There's not too many 6'7", 210-pound guys. Well, let me rephrase that. You have to be 6'7", 210 to play the way that Watkins does in the NBA. He fits the prototype. He could be that guy. He has the skill set for sure. So if he gets that feedback throughout the pre-draft workouts and stuff like that, and he ends up staying, like, I wouldn't blame him for staying in the draft. But if he comes back to school, I mean, all the heavy hitters that have spots left on the roster will be in on this guy.
There we go. Well, those are our first 5 best available transfers left in the portal. Looks like we have a commenter coming in hot here. Patrick Hart coming in asking, was just going to ask, does Jamir Watkins be a good fit for St. John's?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
with his versatility, absolutely. Like, he's a guy that can handle the ball for you, guy that can play out on the wing. So, you look at what St. John's is bringing in, and Kadari Richmond and the Davon Smith combination, right? It's going to be lethal, but it's also going to be kind of interesting to see if it can really work based on what Davon Smith needs is open shooters, right, to really be effective. Kadari Richmond, not a great outside shooter. Now you insert Jamir Watkins, nearly shot 35% from 3. You can get that 3-and-D type guy to go along with someone like Jay's guy, Aaron Scott, right? You get 2 of those guys on the wing. Now you can maybe play a little bit smaller. So, yeah, obviously his versatility on both ends, switchability. I think that's
the thing, Mike, right? Like, you talk about the St. John's roster that's just getting infused with talent. And Jamir Watkins, if you were to head that way, it would kind of feel like a logjam, right? But you look at his game, he's so versatile that he can just fit into whatever they're trying to do, right? Whether it's, how he plays in their starting rotation, if they want to give him a little pop off the bench, right? Like, he can be one of those bridge guys that can give coach a ton of versatility in how he deploys his roster.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Thanks for the comment there, Patrick. Make sure you go out and like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when we're coming out. And if you're sitting there watching us, get in that live comment section. We love talking to everybody. We love answering any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. Moving on. So, yeah, like I said, those were our first 5. We have 3 more to go. Mike, why don't you go ahead and start us up with number 44?
Yeah, number 44 is A.J. Hoggard, the point guard in the transfer portal from Michigan State, 6'4", 210, 35 games, nearly 30 minutes a game, 11 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, and a steal and a half. He's got listed Florida, Georgia, USC, Vanderbilt, and Washington. Flirted a little bit with the NBA draft. He's a big point guard, 5th year in college coming back. Some ups and downs with coaches over there that we kind of talked about not too long ago. But a lot of reports are stating that, just coming off of the visit from Vanderbilt, and reports are saying that there's a significant NIL deal, which, I mean, that's kind of the name of the game these days. And, like, the weird thing is, like, you really don't see anything else out there about these other schools really involved. So, I mean, this could still obviously be early in the process. He was flirting around with the NBA. Smoke around Vanderbilt, though, is pretty tough for me to ignore. This would be quite a get for that program to get this type of player. I know some people dog on him. Like, I mean, 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Like, you would love that in college. And a guy with this type of experience, I know sometimes it's not pretty, it's not flashy. Sometimes he can take some bad shots, but a program like Vanderbilt would absolutely love to get a guy like this. So I'll say that he ends up with Vanderbilt, but still more news to come. If we're gonna start to see maybe some news from these other teams and visits and things like that. So that's AJ Hoggard there at number 44 on our big board.
Yeah, Hoggard, he does catch a lot of flack, but like you said, I mean, he's a solid player to have running point for really any program, especially if you're needing that. 2 more to go. Eric has a guy sitting 1 spot below. Who's at number 45, Eric? Who we got?
Man, before we get to 45, imagine being a top 50 transfer and taking a long, hard look at Vanderbilt, right? Like, something that nobody had on their bingo card. If that comes to fruition, it has got to be, I mean, forget a bag, right? It's got to be a Brinks truck. This is probably the most surprising of the crystal balls as we were preparing for this show.
Where's that been? Where's that been?
Hey, man.
I mean, let's hope he's got the grades for it, right? That's the limiting factor there for Vandy. Yeah. So if you can keep your grades up, maybe you'll get a bag. Wherever Hoggard lands, I think he's going to have an impact, which is a lot of what we can say about our number 45 player, Jaylen Wells. You know, kind of a similar set of circumstances to Watkins that we talked about earlier, right? We've got the NBA there, and then just kind of an open question, right? You know, with Wells in particular, he was also part of this last group to jump into the portal. He's coming off of a 34-game campaign for Washington State where he scored about 12.5 points and 4.5 rebounds, also shot 42% from 3. And, you know, much what we said, you know, kind of with all the guys that are going through the process, you know, you can relate that to Wells. His skill set in particular is quite different from that of Watkins, right? He's much more of a knockdown shooter. He's got good size at 6'8", 205 pounds. So things that, you know, modern NBA GMs are typically putting a premium on, coveting out in this process. And this NBA process in particular, it could take a little while, right? He's not just out there, you know, playing pickup ball with the G Leaguers, right? Like he is going to be taking Kalkbrenner's NBA draft combine invite. So he is going to go through the length of the process. So we'll have to be patient with regard to Wells. And again, you know, with a relatively weak class, according to some, the weakest class in the history of organized basketball. I mean, it wouldn't take much for a team to fall in love and for guys like Wells to feel pretty good about their draft profile. So this one is legitimately a toss-up. If he were to come back to school, I mean, he might be one of the last guys standing, right? You know, he'll be out there where the 45th player on the big board will probably be the best player available for a lot of teams. So he'll have plenty of suitors if he decides to come back to school.
And let's just say right now, like Dr. Naismith did not envision this draft class when he hung that peach basket up, okay? Like this is not what
he would have never hung it up.
He would not have even put those 2 nails through the back of that peach basket into that pole. It would not have even happened. So let's make sure that we are very clear on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we hope to have more information in the coming weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that info. And the way you stay tuned is by hitting that notification bell and knowing when we're coming in. And also, if you're new watching us right now, hop in that live comment section. Let us know what team you rep.
Do it.
Right? Who are you rooting for? Who are you looking for in this transfer?
We've been seeing a ton of Kentucky lately. If there's anyone out there that's not repping Big Blue Nation, let us know. Let us know who you're holding out for. Right? There's still some good talent out there. We want to get a sense of the fans as to which players they're coveting.
It's exactly. Who's asking who's out there for Duke, and then it's who out there isn't. It's everybody else in the world. Kentucky is the same exact way. So if you're for Kentucky, let us know in the comment section. If you're not for Kentucky, let us know in the live chat.
Exactly.
What's going on? Get in there.
Exactly. And my team's Arizona State, and I don't think they're going to be doing anything good. So I'm looking for a new team to root for. So give me a reason. Get in that comment section. Let me
Nape's in the
know.
portal. His fandom's in the
Dang, your
portal. Go get
fandom's
that
in the
bag,
portal,
Nape.
dude. That's pretty hard fandom if you I don't know. You don't treat Arizona. You don't treat Arizona State like you do Brock Purdy.
You
so
just drop them.
Yeah.
He's playing a gimmick. We got to talk about a couple of Sun Devils a few weeks ago, and my dude
he was all hyped.
a Christmas tree, the happiest day of his life.
It was.
Got a couple people chime in. It looks like the Hogs are well represented, at least based on the sampling of chatters.
Keyshawn Pryor and DJ Wagner. That'll do it. What about Coleman Hawkins?
That would be quite the addition there for the Hogs. And LC Campbell. Don't know who you're hoping for, but definitely a WPS faithful.
What's up, LC?
Thanks for those comments, guys. Keep them coming, and we are going to go through. Jay, wrap us up on the last top 50 uncommitted player in the transfer portal. Who you got?
Oh, right there, number 49. Of course, it's Trazarien White. Crystal balls. A who's who of basketball programs. Kentucky, TCU, Texas Tech, little Kansas State action too there on the little apple, leaving UNC Wilmington after averaging 19.8 points, 6.8 rebounds, and shooting a crystal clear and very cool 39% from deep in 30 minutes per game. One of the top scorers in the country last season. Like I said, almost 20 points per. This could be a hometown finish, though. Texas Tech and TCU seem to be the odds-on favorites, with the Horned Frogs holding a slight lead here out there in Fort Worth. He's from the DFW area, and we don't really have to go into Jamie Dixon here too much. You know that Jamie Dixon's TCU Horned Frogs are going to be in the NCAA tournament year in and year out. Now, of course, this is another time that we're seeing Texas Tech's logo up there on the screen. They would love to land him. He'd be the number one option out there in Lubbock for sure. But as enticing as that may be, to be the guy out there in Lubbock, I'd say smart money would be on TCU for this one.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? Like you look at Kansas State. Jay, you mentioned like Tech being in, we're talking about them being on 3 of these 8 guys. Like Kansas State's been in on a ton of guys. Like they have some money to throw around. And it feels like they're just, it almost like Georgetown, got a couple of guys, right? But for what we were expecting and kind of what had been talked about, kind of before everything started rolling here in the offseason, like Georgetown and Kansas State, right? It just seems like they're linked and in the top 4 or 5 for every single top 50 guy that we've talked about. They did get Doug McDaniel, but like they're just the top end guys too. Like Tech and Kansas State really need to get somebody like this. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen though. So just kind of interesting to see how it is, man. Like TCU inside track. He's from Mansfield, which is, in that DFW area. So, TCU right there. Maybe he wants to play his last season close to home. So many factors go into these decisions from these kids. Like everybody always says it's NIL, right? But I mean, a lot of times, hometown cooking, right, is a way to go. We saw it across here as Texas fans, like A.D. Mitchell, right? Like has a kid here in Texas, like wanted to come back here, and it's, obviously Texas does have money, but it's things like that kind of drive conversations past NIL. But the talk is like right now it's just all NIL, which I get. That's usually the number 1 or 2 thing on kids' list, but you have to look at other things such as location. And I'm excited the NCAA football game is coming out, because remember the location thing where you would recruit towards location, right? Like that was always a big one.
I mean, who among us could resist the siren song, the beckoning of the draw of Fort Worth, right? It's just so beautiful this time of year. Just as many strip malls as you could ever want to do anything with. It's just
they got the stockyards up there, man.
Of the North Texas area.
The stockyards. That's just okay. Here we go.
Oh God, is Mike frozen? Because that is probably the best frozen face.
My guy is frozen, or he is dying right now.
Take your screenshots. Oh, there we go.
He's back.
Oh, that was great.
He's back.
Good
Look who's back in the comments, guys. It's Rip.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Rip.
Rip Watts, L's up, go Cards.
Rip, I want to know how many games Louisville's going to win with their current roster.
Man, last year we had a rapid fire question over under 10 wins for Louisville. That's clearly in the rear view, and you can't have a Cardinals fan chime up without the Kentucky faithful to pop right back in there. Peanut Butter Posse, L's up, 7's down.
Another new commenter, Silver Shire. Where's the Hoosier? What do you mean you won the portal earlier in the portal season? Like, you got like 3 of our top 20 guys. What do you want? Like
the Hoosier representation, Silver Shire, and thanks for checking in. It was on our shows like 2 or 3 weeks ago because you guys got after it early in the portal. So go back and check those out. I appreciate you rocking with us here tonight.
Like, what are we doing here?
There you go. Gives us the thumbs up there. Good deal, man. I love these segments. That I love this segment. Really, got some good info in there. Thank you for all the comments there. Make sure you go and like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We're going to be going all summer long. Usually 2, sometimes 3 shows. So the only way you are going to see that is by hitting that notification bell. But now a more familiar segment to end the show here. A quick batch of new, fresh commits out of the portal this past week.
I know why Jay's laughing, Chris. I'm sorry. Jay, tackle this first before Chris goes any further.
I'm peanut butter.
And then give us a little melody here.
Take me to church, I was black and dog, and I'm trying to relax. No, it's not that song. That's Hoosier, Peanut Butter Posse, and you know it. You know it. It's not Hoosier. Oh, I love it. See, man. I knew if we just enticed the Kentucky commenters in, this thing would get rolling, man. You did not disappoint. Always good to see.
And Peanut Butter Posse, he has officially set the bar. He holds the mantle for how often he's making us break with his comments. My guy's got us in stitches.
Doesn't matter. Keep him coming. Love
Chris,
it.
Man. I saw Jay's reaction, and I was like,
oh gosh,
I knew the jukebox was about to play.
Good deal. Well, thanks for the comments, guys. Mike, let's just jump into this recent commits here. The only player on our list inside the top 200 is Mark Freeman. Who is Mark Freeman? Tell us about him.
Well, Mark Freeman is number 191 on our big board, and he's a guard from Morehead State. You didn't see him last year because he was out for the year. We talked about it all offseason, how this was a big blow to Morehead State. Well, what did Morehead State do? They went out and got busy and made it to the NCAA tournament and a fun game against Illinois there for first half. But he commits to James Madison. He's the former Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year. The previous year, when he wasn't injured and winning that Player of the Year award, played 30 games, 30 minutes a game, 15 points, nearly 4 assists, 36% from three-point range, and he's following his coach Preston Spradlin over to the Dukes. I think this is a smart and a good move for him after the injury. Obviously, he knows the type of system he's going to be playing in. He's been successful in it. We can hope that he bounces back in a big way, and it would be cool to see James Madison, even though there's been so much coaching turnaround. They were a lot of fun last year, so hopefully Coach Spradlin and Mark Freeman can get some things done here. Following down here at number 226, Eric, who do you got?
Yeah, checking in at 226, Derin Saran, the former UC Irvine Anteater, is committed to Stanford for UC Irvine last year as a freshman. He played 31 games, about 19 minutes per game, 10 points, 3.5 boards, and a dime and a half per game. Very solid freshman campaign for the Anteaters here for Saran. The thing that really jumps off the page is guy was hyper efficient, right? Like he made the absolute most of his opportunity. He slashed 50, 35, and 80 out in the Big West. So, that kind of guy that can come in and be a reliable scorer whenever his name is called is exactly what teams are looking for. And, this has been, a tough offseason for the Cardinal. Now they go out and they bring in Saran where, they can fill, one of their remaining scholarships. Prior to this, by our count, they only had 7 players on scholarship on the roster. So jump all the way up to 8 with Saran. And, at least one of those players that is on scholarship is Renaud. They should make a pretty formidable 1-2 punch running out there next to Saran. So, Checking in at 226, the now Stanford Cardinal.
Good stuff. Man, we have some shots fired in the comment section here, gents. This is funny stuff here. Silvershire coming in. What percentage of Kentucky fans won't realize they have a new coach until March 2025? All right. Peanut Butter Posse responding saying 0.00% precise.
Zero. Okay. All right.
Rib coming in saying 15 to 18 wins for the Cards, including win versus Kentucky. Let's go Cards. Woo!
Trading body
back
blows.
and forth.
Let's go.
Oh, man. Hope the Cards have a good season from Silvershire. Yeah, we do. Hey, who's Oakley Jack? Oakley Jack, man.
Welcome
in.
Oh,
Kentucky is
okay. Louisville's daddy.
Loving it. Hey, you know, the only person that we haven't seen in a live chat tonight is our guy Mo.
Oh,
where we at, Mo?
Lester Jr. We haven't seen him in the live chat tonight, so we'll see if Mo's out there. Hop in there if you are, Mo.
And Peanut Butter coming in. Are you talking about the team with the coach that took the Utah All-Stars to the tournament with 4 wins versus top 15 teams?
Oh, man. It's good
time. Oh,
yeah. Loving it.
Good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Jay, let's go ahead and move on. Tell us about the next gentleman on our list here.
Yeah, Tyler Harris, number 335 on the big board over at drroto.com. It's free, by the way, so make sure you get over there and check it out. Tyler Harris, formerly of Portland, is climbing the ladder. Washington, staying out there on the coast. Another kid coming off the big-time freshman year, very athletic wing that can shoot, shot 36% from deep last year, 12 points and nearly 7.5 boards per game. So a nice stat line in 33 minutes. Used to playing a lot of minutes out there on the floor, a ton for Portland. And which we've talked about Coach Sprinkle already once tonight. You got to like this get for Coach Sprinkle and his staff out there in Washington. And Harris's transition is going to be one of those that, as weird as it is to say, Washington is heading out to the Big Ten. So, like, from playing at Portland to now banging around at in the Big Ten on a night in and night out basis. He's 6'8", but he's kind of a little slimmer of frame, if you will, only 190 pounds. So I imagine that Tyler Harris is going to be putting in some work over the summer, adding a little bit of muscle to that frame. And look out, because if he does and he figures it out, if that game translates to the Big Ten, Washington has a good one.
Yeah, I absolutely love his game. I think he's got, depending on how the transition goes, we talk about how we like to see these mid-major guys, right? Especially the younger ones, when they go up to the high major ranks, is it more of a mind thing, right? But the physicality with this, right? 6'8", 190, likes to play on the wing, shoots a lot of threes. So we'll see, but all signs pointing up to maybe even an NBA type future. But next on our list, number 359, Trey Fort, one of my favorites from early in the season last year, the guard from Mississippi State, 6'4", 180. He's going to Samford. I want to talk to Samford. 20 games, 11 minutes a game, 5 points, 2 rebounds, shot 35% from 3. Loading him back up for old buckyball. And he's an underrated scorer. He flashed early in the season. Now he heads down to the SoCon conference from the SEC. I just talked about going up. Well, man, like these guys that are down transferring here, they are, they've been cooking. We've seen some guys do some really great things whenever they, move down from these type of situations. So this is an up-tempo offense. Obviously, we saw it against Kansas, or the nation saw it against Kansas. We were covering them throughout the year in our mid-major minute. And, obviously the defenses in the SoCon, not gonna be as imposing as the ones you find in the SEC. So Stanford's taken some lumps this offseason. They lost a couple of the best players, Troy being one of them. But they got some talent coming in. So love this for old buckyball. And the last guy on our list, we couldn't we mentioned Duke once already. So, it's the one and done show. They come up a few times. But Eric, you want to close us out here with Mr. 371 on the list?
Yeah, our obligatory Duke mention on the one and done show. 371 is Jaden Schutt, the former Dookie, has committed to Virginia Tech. This is a player that redshirted last year, so going back to 22-23, played 14 games, about 7 minutes a game. Couldn't really compile a whole lot of stats in such limited run. But, in terms of his skill set, an absolutely lethal shooter. He should get ample opportunity there in Blacksburg. And this is a kid that's a former top 75 recruit, right? Like these kids don't grow on trees. It should be a big add there for the Hokies. And, Schutt could be pretty quickly in the conversation for a starting role, right? So Virginia Tech, they're probably going to have one of the younger rosters in all of the ACC for next season. So, this could very quickly turn into a situation where they're working on developing these guys. They're trying to see what they have there in the holster with these guys. And, that could really, act as a pretty big jumping off point for Jaden Schutt. So he will shut out this segment at 371, the last 5-pack of tonight's show.
Yes, that's my guy right there. Very good.
Good stuff. We have some more comments coming in here. Silvershire coming in. Yes, very strange adding 4 teams from the far West Coast. What's the flight time from Rutgers to Washington? Anybody?
That's a 4.5 to 5 hour flight, depending on the jet stream. It's a 4.5 to 5 hour flight, depending on which direction you're trying.
Jay, quick, what's the square root of this apartment?
What's the hypotenuse of this studio?
Jay's the conductor and the pilot, apparently. So we're good.
I do it all, baby.
I think I'm more excited for the football aspect of that. What if it's snowing in Jersey?
Let's fly away.
Has great Osobor committed. He has not. We talked about it a little bit earlier. He has not committed, but it is between Washington, Texas Tech, and Louisville. There you go, Rip. Pressure washing by Sterling Wash. Ooh. Welcome to the comment section. Damn right, Kentucky. People stepping in when people are throwing up L's. There you go. And Silvershire coming in, just giving the smile. And Oakley Jack, again, thanks for the comments. BBN Lanier number 10.
There we go.
Yeah, I think Lanier, if he comes back, I think he's going to go to Kentucky.
There's the Big Blue Nation. Loving this. Hey, asking you shall receive with those cats. You know they were hopping in. They're just lurking. They're waiting.
Who's going to run the point? Who's going to run the point?
Don't get. We are finishing the show. Do not get me started on who's running the point.
Okay, how about this? We'll calm things down. I won't talk about the Kentucky distributor. Instead, I'll ask you if you have any news on some guy you might know named Dylan Mitchell.
On Dylan Mitchell? No, I mean, I think it's pretty firm that he's going to end up probably at Miami. Take an official visit there. He's from the Tampa Bay area. I'm surprised it hasn't. Maybe he's shopping around too. Like these guys that stay in late in the portal, maybe
he'll go get that Vandy money.
Yeah, if somebody drops a mill in the West Coast, I don't think he wants to go home anymore. So, but yeah, Dylan Mitchell, Jay, we're ending the show, but how frustrating that Dylan Mitchell just was not used to his full ability. I mean, come on, dude. What are we doing
all of a sudden, after he leaves Austin, it's he can shoot. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a thing.
Well, he gave us that little taste of it in the draft process last offseason, right? It felt like we tripped over some found money and then we just didn't utilize it.
Yeah, we didn't spend it at all during the year.
All right, well, I'll just keep it in the wallet in case I need it.
Yeah, let's keep that one for a rainy day for sure. Hey, look, Sterling Wash, pressure washing guy. UK.
You need a point guard.
You need a point guard. Okay? You do.
I mean, you don't have to go crazy, right? You don't have to get like the best distributor in the
Michael
portal.
McConnell,
someone that can run the offense would be a nice thing to have.
Again, I'm sitting right here. I'm just in the studio waiting. I've been keeping.
He's not only
a score first point guard though. You're Cartrisa, the one and done show.
No sir. Led the district in assists. Okay, per game, sir. That's me.
Led the one and done show in free throws at the Vegas Regional.
At the Vegas Regionals for free throws. I mean, I'm the assist and free throw guy. I'm first guy in, last guy out, bringing a lunch pail to work every day. And that's what Kentucky needs at point guard. They don't need the superstar, but they need a guy that they can depend on. And I don't know, man. They don't.
The two guys they got right now, one likes to shoot 36-footers, and the other guy is a really good defensive player. What's wrong with there it is? What's wrong with Lamont Butler? I mean, I don't think there's anything. He's just not a primary point guard. Like it's.
If you
like
have,
I said, that's for another show.
Now here's the thing: if you have 3 different guys that play point guard, you don't have one. Okay, you don't.
Jay using the old quarterback adage.
Yeah,
you got 3 QBs, you ain't got one.
You don't.
Oh my god!
Like, is Kirk Creasy your point guard? Is Lamont Butler? I mean,
they want Lamont Butler, but the good news is that
Joe's
Pope's,
right. I am one.
Pope's actions though, like he's gonna run a lot through the post. So Amari Williams being there, obviously you're gonna get a lot of I don't know, say like point forward type play from him in the half court offense. So I like peanut butter pasta before we get out of here. If a bus travels from New Jersey to Seattle at 75 miles per hour and takes a bathroom break in every state, accounting for average road work and weather delays, what time will it? Jay, that's the
SATs.
Break out the Texas Instruments.
No, it's actually it's 26 hours and 17 minutes. Okay, so it's just over a day that you could make it. Actually, that is not even close. It wouldn't. There's not a chance it would take.
Man,
2
you'd be
days
cooking
to get across the.
Forget a bathroom break.
Hey, I don't know. It's
yep.
just,
all right. We need to stop talking. We need to let this man
told
Chris
there
close
would
this out.
be no Matt. Well, I mean, we already, this thing's went off the rails, and I love it because the live chat
Here we
was
go,
so
Travis
good
Berry.
again.
Here we go. I saw some dribbling drills to him today. He was dribbling 2 balls at once, like the Steph Curry dribbling drills. I was like, Kentucky fans are gonna go. They're gonna go bonkers when they see this drill. And I sent Eric a text about the football drills today. Whenever we see rookie receivers running routes against cones.
When those receivers are out there dusting those cones.
Yeah.
Is this the same thing as when we see Ben Simmons shooting from 3 every offseason? Like
or Dylan Mitchell combine.
You just see a Kentucky point guard dribbling with both hands, and it's like he's the guy. That's it.
I mean,
he
look,
is him.
Realistically, I'm sure the Kentucky roster as constructed would be fine, right? But like, if you have a spot open and there are some distributors out there, like why not go bring someone in? You know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world if we end up with more shooting style guards, right?
Ooh, we're turning the Kentucky fans against us.
That's all right. That's all right. They're gonna show up and talk again anyway. We can turn them against them, and they'll show back up again, and we welcome it. Hey, I love Coach Pope. What do we got? I like see. Oh yeah, it's
if you guys haven't checked out the interview. Last year.
By the way, 1 year ago today, go check it out. We talked to Coach Pope. I don't know I like Coach Pope's style of coaching. I think that he's going to want a guy eventually to settle into that main distributor role.
Like a Dallin Hall?
Something like, the same type of a role, right?
Like so, not anybody that's going to jump off the screen, but just like gets you into the right sets and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll see, guys. But we always appreciate those live chats for sure. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody that chatted up with us today. Thank you to Eddie V, Rip Watts, Patrick Hart, LC Campbell, Unbiased Brim, Silvershire, Peanut Butter Posse, Oakley Jack, Sterling Wash, and Joe Cornett. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Love every single one of you. If this is your first time watching, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Until next time, let's get this bread.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drrodo.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.